asked you to remember 3 things from this talk. The first one, who are you? Who do you want to be? The second one, our values matter. The third thing I ask you to consider is how do you contribute to the community in your facility? Because our facilities are like communities. And we bring to this community beliefs and values about who we are, about how we should treat one another, about how staff should treat one another, about how staff should treat their supervisors, about how kids should treat the staff, and about how kids should treat one another. We're all responsible for this community. The values and expectations of staff can't differ from the expectations of kids. Notice that I say communities and not cities. The difference is the number of kids we interact with at any given time makes a difference too. In large cities, it's tough to interact with, to influence, and to be present, and be responsible for one another. It's just too big. Even the largest cities have neighborhoods, they have blocks. It's because they're more personal. There's a face-to-face connection. Staff become human to kids. Kids become human to staff. They become more than just a name on a roster that they have to account for every half hour. When we're in a community, it turns mistakes not as something we sit back on the sidelines and watch for, but as something that's a teachable moment, a teaching moment that we can embrace and move on with. It turns safety into something proactive because you become that person in the community a kid can trust, a community of youth, of officers, of staff. And you have to figure out, what does my community stand for? I had the privilege of visiting a facility in Amarillo, Texas in 1999, and they had these We Believe statements posted throughout their facility. And our facility built our culture. We shaped our new culture around these We Believe statements. Just like Carlos, I believe every child is searching for that adult to believe in him or her, to push them to do better, to push them to be better, to celebrate their dignity as a human being. No matter how many times a kid has been detained or what they've done, that change is possible. And that we as staff have that responsibility to walk the walk, to work together to be on the same page, or at least in the same book. Because in the end, what we do is tough, but it matters. In 2012, the facility I worked in was closed because we simply did not detain enough kids in our jurisdiction, and it was too expensive to house them. Our last year was one of the most difficult periods of my professional life. It was also one of the most rewarding. We had so few resources, money, staffing, and looking back, there really was truly no reason we did not have a major safety compromising incident, except for the community, the values of teamwork, of loyalty, of respect, and care were the glue that kept us together and that kept us safe. It's what kept our kids feeling cared for. It's what safely managed behavior. I tell you this because I lived it and I believe it. I truly feel a debt to the people who worked alongside me during that time. Despite this, it was the most rewarding and fun job I have ever had. I asked you to remember 3 things from this talk. Number 1, who are you? Who do you want to be? Number 2, the values you bring to the work make a difference. And number 3, consider the community you create, how you interact with coworkers, how you interact with kids. And last but not least, I ask you to not forget to laugh and enjoy kids being kids. Go to work every day acting as if what you do makes a difference, because it does. Thank you.